Lives of our Saints. On the 12th of March, our Church celebrates the feast of Saint Symeon. The following are some thoughts on his life and works. Symeon was born with the given name of George in 957, the son of Basil and Evgenia, who were devout Christians and of high social standing in the city of Galatine. Despite a high intellect which had been amply demonstrated, he was disinterested in the study program offered, and to relieve the boredom, he sought a change by paying a visit to the famous monastery of Studios in Constantinople. It proved to be a visit that was to alter the course of his life, much to the benefit of Christendom. At the Studios monastery, George spent many hours in conversation with a remarkable and quite pious monk who had earned the name of Symeon the Devout, who so inspired the young student that he asked permission to remain as a novice. Because of his youth and relative lack of study, the request was denied, and he was advised to apply himself to the study of the Fathers and the Scriptures. The resolute George took this course of religious preparation, and at long last he was admitted to the monastery in 984, when he was 27 years old. No man has ever entered a cloister better prepared for the service of the Saviour than the eager George, and he was sent to the monastery of St. Mamas, where he was finally ordained a priest at the age of 30. At his ordination, he assumed the name of his spiritual father Symeon, with whom he remained close until the latter's death. Appointed by the Patriarch to be abbot of the monastery of St. Mamas, the younger Symeon brought about sweeping reforms within the monastery, which called upon for strict adherence to the rules concerning self-denial and fasting, reforms which brought protests from the monks themselves. A former metropolitan named Stephanos now sided with the insurgent monks, and he sought to discredit Symeon with a series of harassments that after 6 years finally influenced the Patriarch to the point where Symeon was exiled and sent to fend for himself. After some wanderings, Symeon came upon a private chapel owned by a man of deep religious faith, who welcomed and allowed him to establish a monastery of his own. It was at this private chapel that Symeon composed sacred hymns of great beauty, as well as masterful writings. His prolific writing was of such calibre that it was recognised throughout Christendom and acknowledged by the Patriarch himself to be the works of a man divinely inspired. Vindicated at last, Symeon was asked to return to Constantinople, but he preferred to remain at the chapel to continue his literary efforts, which form an integral part of church reading. He died on the 12th of March 1022.